Hello there, my crypto bit brothers and sisters. How in the world are you? Hey, before we get started, Papa Ron's over here. You see him? He looks pretty good, don't he? Yeah. Hey, before we get started, I want to say thumbs up to us. I want to be sure I don't forget that. Be sure and pound them thumbs up for us on this. We're going to have a good shoe today.
A really big shoe.
A really big shoe. How you been, Papa Ron?
I'm doing well, Rod. It's Saturday morning. Bitcoin's touching $9,000. No, 9,000. Duh.
19, right?
It's yeah, it's 19. What the heck, man? Well, right now it's 18.9 almost.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not wake up and not be happy about that?
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Look at Litecoin, $300. Ooh.
It is cool.
It is cool. It is cool.
Yeah, things are good. And anyway, of course, they contributed again to South Korea and Japan. Kind of going bonkers over there on this stuff. And
yeah,
God, I can see this thing hitting 20 before Christmas.
Ooh, be Merry Christmas.
Now, what number was you at first saying it was going to hit by Christmas, and it just blew by that? Was it 10 or 15?
Oh, I was 10.
Was it 10 back?
I think I said it's going to be 10 by the end of the year. Remember back in
my land.
What, about 3 months ago? And look at it now, or 2 months ago. Hell, I don't know. It's been going up so fast I can't keep track.
I know. I know. Anyway, well, folks, what we wanted to start, and you read the title to this thing. You know, there's a lot of these, and folks, here's another thing. We are having the Node Investor, which is one of the charting specialists that he's been on the show 3-4 times. Anyway, he's going to be with us tomorrow. We're going to kind of talk about this and the longevity of it, and we got some questions for him. So he's going to be on our shoe tomorrow.
That'll be fun.
But today we're going to kind of pick on this charting stuff. There's nothing that I would even know to discredit it or anything, but Rod and I kind of look at this stuff logically. I mean, we just kind of put a pencil and paper to it and say, where's this thing going? So we kind of want to look at that a little bit.
Well, when Papa Ron says we look at it logically, Bulldog Rod here, he ain't got too much logic.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know.
Yeah, he does. All right, here's what I want to start off with, and it probably won't. And folks, we're not experts at this stuff. If there's some discrepancy or you kind of disagree with this logic, comment about it. I mean, we don't know all this stuff. We're just kind of going through the motions. But let's use. I got them
say you never want to believe us.
Yeah.
Just go through the motions. They don't care.
Don't believe a damn thing we say. Do your own research.
That's right. You got to do your own due diligence.
Our research is for us.
That's right.
All right. Check this out. Check this out, Rod. I got a scribble pad here.
Looky here. You sure do.
Let's say, I just want to kind of prove a point here. Not prove a point. I want to look at something. So let's say we got an exchange. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, there should be. Here's an exchange, and they have within that exchange 10 Bitcoin. Now you take an exchange like Polynex that has multiple, maybe hundreds of coins they dabble in. They've got to have some kind of pool of all those coins. They have to have, like, depending on how fast these coins are trading back and forth, they've got to have X amount, I would think, of so many coins. We're not picking on any certain exchange, but let's say an exchange here has 10 coins. And then you got all these buyers around. And so let's say, as these buyers sell coins and these other buyers buy them, it keeps, I don't want to say balance, but it keeps the momentum back and forth of the buying and selling. But let's say the price changes on this, and all of a sudden you have, if we have 10 Bitcoin in the pool, and you've got 15 people that want to buy that, does the exchange automatically put up a sorry, we're out, or do they take the sale? Now, if the price drops too drastically, we've seen these exchanges, they'll close up shop a little bit. We kind of get that, but we're not talking about that today. We're kind of just saying if more buyers buy than what they have available at that exchange, do they continue to sell them? I want to inject that I think they do. I think they continue to sell, and they don't have to have the amount of coin on hand to continue to sell to the buyers. What do you think, Rod?
Well, that's the only way they could stay in business, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, well, and this is the second thing to maybe help answer our question. Where the heck am I going here?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Okay, here we go. I got it. Computers. Okay, now this is called fractional reserve banking in our banking industry here in the U.S. And I know most of you folks probably know about this, but if there's a few that don't, let's go over this really quick. A bank, for every, and I don't know the exact amount, but for every dollar a bank has in savings, they can loan that dollar out. At one time I thought it was 23 times, but maybe I'm wrong. So this diagram kind of quickly shows how fractional reserve banking works. If somebody puts $1,000 in the bank, they keep $100 of it in reserve into savings, and then they can loan out the $900. But they can loan that $900 out multiple times. And as you go through, rinse and repeat. So as you go through the process, and it keeps circling through this diagram, at the end of it, the bank has 271. Whoops, my picture's kind of showing that. Dang. No. Anyway, what it says there, folks. Technical timeout. Where's our tech assistant? The bank has 271 in savings, and it's loaned out $3,400, more than 34 in the system. So basically, for every time you borrow money, whether it be on a Visa card or go in and buy it to loan on a car, because the bank doesn't have to have that money in bank, you are actually creating US dollars. When you swipe that Visa, or let's say you go in and get an auto loan, you're creating more money in the system. And that's kind of why we're a debtor nation. It's all based on debt. And they want to start talking about Bitcoin bubbles. Oh my land. What about the debt bubble that is in the trillions of dollars? When that baby pops, I'm telling you, this country is going to be back to the Stone Age. So in comparison, just like our banking system doesn't have to have all the dollars. And think about this, Rod. You got all these dollars that they don't have. You know what a bank run is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you folks, since it's Christmas time, if you haven't watched that movie before, Miracle on 34th Street with Jimmy Stewart, you need to watch that. It's on TV 2 or 3 times between now and Christmas, I'm sure, but that talks about a bank run and what happens when they over collateralize these assets. And so if everybody tried to get their money out of a bank tomorrow, they don't have it. They don't have it on hand. They don't have it at the central banks. They don't have it at the FDIC. It's a mess. So now I'll go back and correlate this again, Rod, to what we were saying about the exchanges. If everybody at an exchange tried to get their coins out at one time, I am propositioning that they don't have the amount of coins and tokens to give out if there was a run on that certain coin. So we're pointing 2 things out here. One, do not leave your coins on an exchange. Get them off there so you own them. It's in your private, personal possession. It's not within this pool of coins that everybody is maneuvering back and forth. And the second thing is,
what was the second thing?
You were supposed to talk about the second thing, Ron.
Oh, okay.
Because
some of those wallets that we're talking about, when you put it into your personal funds, make sure it's in a wallet. Make sure it's in a wallet that is safe. Offline is preferably. Paper wallets are good. There's a lot of different wallets that you can do. These little nano S's that you can use. You can hold your coins on. So it's always good to have something other than an exchange holding your money.
Yeah, well, they have the private keys to those things. If the exchange was shut down either by electricity or the government or whatever problem, all those coins are retained by that exchange at that point. And I'm not saying you will, but let's say if it gets done, you might have to fight to get your coins out of there. Anyway, that wasn't the point of the point, and Rod, thanks for that.
All right.
The point is that you're dabbling with more coins out there than really exist, in my opinion. Now, maybe somebody can write and show us a different light on that. The next thing I wanted to talk about was this, and Rod and I have both been self-employed most of our lives, and I've taken several marketing classes and business classes, and Rod has too at the colleges and stuff. And they have a thing what they call the S-curve. Mm-hmm. And there's been a little bit of talk on this, but if you look at this chart here, and these are what financial companies, institutions use to kind of show you how a new product goes into the system. So let's say, I don't know, General Motors or Amazon or even your cell phone. When they come up with a new cell phone, how to project how this thing's going to go, they use an S-curve to talk about it. And here on the S-curve, 10 or 20%, this is when people start to, these are the early adopters, they call them. And this is when it starts to take off. And then you got, and it picks up quicker and quicker as this thing goes up the line. The more people that know about it, like Rod keeps talking about that Metcalf.
Metcalf, that's right.
It picks up steam as it goes.
Yep. And
so even the early majority, even 40% of the people that hear about...
Sorry.
That's all right. Everything good?
All right, go ahead. Yep. You're right.
I mean, they claim that the early majority is still up to about half of the people knowing about crypto or whatever product you're trying to push onto the market. Those are still early majority. Now, you know, we've been claiming that anyway, the people that are involved with crypto right now or Bitcoin is only probably 2 to 5% of the world. And how many of the U.S., I don't know. But we are still in this takeoff phase.
Yeah.
So when they start talking about bubbles, we say bubble, bull, you know what. It's not yet. It's still in its infancy. It's like the rocket hasn't left the launch pad yet. It's putting the thrusters on. This baby's just getting started, folks.
Oh yeah.
Let me go to one more thing here, and this is kind of a valuation chart, which is kind of interesting. This is also used by businesses in promoting products and how their thing's going to fare out there and all, and the evaluation. Well, you can see they have a stealth phase, an awareness phase, and this is where we're at. We're kind of in the awareness phase. People are just learning about this stuff. There is no way we're in a mania phase yet, which is up to about here. And we're just now getting media attention involved on Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, yeah, it's picking up steam and more. I mean, you have 50 to 100,000 people a day joining Coinbase. So there is some enthusiasm. There is some media attention.
But when you're talking, Ron, when you're talking about billions, 150,000 just a drop in the bucket.
That's exactly right, Rod.
And this evaluation, if you look, there's a timeline at the bottom, and that's years down the line before we get up to that new paradigm. We're not even there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're still. I personally think we're still takeoff because we're still in that awareness phase. You're right. Because media attention, we finally just got a little bit of media attention, but not real well. I mean, it is easier now to talk to people about Bitcoin. Oh yeah, I've heard about Bitcoin. What is it though? They still ask what it is.
Yeah, they don't know how to get it. They don't know how to use it. They don't know, actually who's using it. You're right. There's still a lot to go in. So, and we're still so basic on this. Our point being is that, these chart guys, and there's a use for that. We love the Node Investor, and he can pinpoint things for us.
Oh, good.
Very good. But just logically thinking, folks, there is so much more room and more growth going to come out of Bitcoin and some of these altcoins. And I think after these holidays, everybody's so busy right now, I think, with Christmas and the holidays. You wait till come January, and when people start getting back into focusing on some of this stuff,
yeah,
it's going to take off.
And especially in April, when they get their refunds, oh, baby, they're not going to go out and buy a car or something. They're going to put it in Bitcoin. It'd be crazy if they don't.
I talked to one of my daughters yesterday, and she says, I am telling my boss I need my W-2 ASAP. Like the first, employers have till the 30th of January to get those W-2s out. She says, I need mine now so I can buy Bitcoin. So, so you're exactly right, Rod. But folks, we did a video 1 or 2 time ago and we talked about it's time to get your plan of action written down, or at least thought of. What are you going to do? What are you going to cut back in your life so you can buy more crypto? Because this crypto is going to financially set you for the next, you'll be able to maybe pay a mortgage off or your cars or something if you plan this right.
I think if you plan it right for the next, I'm just going to throw a number out there, say 5 years. And I'm not talking, 20, 40 years down the line. I'm just talking about 5 years. If you give yourself 5 years, you could totally retire. If you play this right. I'm telling you, it's something else.
You're going to see this escalation start next year. And if Litecoin even, it's up 7,000% this year alone.
Yeah.
And we feel they're still affordable.
Yeah.
You can still get in on this action, but you got to plan and dedicate money to it, and it's going to pay off. So we're not real worried ourselves about bubbles anytime soon, unless, now here's a word of caution, I think there are some things that can affect these economic trends of valuation charts and S charts, and that is government interference or manipulation of the markets by flooding the market like a pump and dump, but people with serious money, like banks that use fractional reserve banking, that have unlimited funds, sorta, they could probably affect the price, pump it up. They could crash it if they put enough coins back onto the market. It would take a lot, but so there are some of these cautions to think about. But right now, man, get in while the getting's good. And then don't be afraid to take your investment back out. I mean, I have another, and I know I talk like I do. I have 7 kids. Insanity, I know. They're all grown, they're all out of the house and all that, but
and you wonder, Ron, I'm going to make a little comment here if I could. If you don't mind me saying this.
Is it a personal attack?
No. I was just astonished that you're so well off. I didn't think you ever got out of the bed. 7 kids.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
None of them look like me either. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
My kids love their Uncle Rod. I'm telling you, they cherish that old boy. But now I forgot what I was at. I was going to talk about my son. I don't even remember what we were on now. But anyway, get into this, folks. Next year, you're going to see some huge strides in this. We're going to start taking this thing on a projection upward. And as new money, as the awareness builds and new money comes in, you know how much money is sitting on the sidelines waiting to get into this? This is an opportunity for just average people like us to score. You're not going to do it working a job. I mean, you know,
you have to work a job, though. I mean,
yeah, it provides for us.
And in order to buy the cryptocurrency, you have to have some kind of income.
That's right, but you're not going to get anywhere financially. But Bitcoin and crypto offers an opportunity that the average guy can score. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Taking your investment back out.
Yeah,
take some profits. Get the money back out. Don't. That's what I was saying. I have one son that just wants to continually leave it in there because it's growing so well, and there's something to that. But there's also something to say, hey, get your money back out that you put. Then you're on a free ride. If this thing tanks, you haven't lost a dang dime.
That's right.
You know, and so as it goes up, pull a little bit out. You know, start working it.
Amen to that. You gotta pay yourself, or it's not fun.
That's a good point. Hey, thanks for watching.
Thumbs up again, and God bless.